Hey peeps, my name is Naisha and welcome to my channel. Today I'm on choices and I'm going to talk about Immortal Desires 2 chapters 5 through 8. Also, I apologize if you hear any background noises. Okay, so if you haven't seen my previous video where I talk about chapters 1 through 4, go ahead and check that out so you can know what I'm going to talk about when it comes to chapters 5 through 8. Also, this is a spoiler review because I'm going to talk about everything, and I'm the type of person that I need to talk about every little details and things like that. So, now, okay, so chapter 5, we left off, there are hunters that are coming. Well, not hunters, rangers. I meant to say rangers. Because in chapter 4, Parker, Gabriel, and Cass, they find a vampire's body and things like that. Out of the ley line and stuff like that. And before they could even do anything, there are like forest rangers that came out of nowhere. So now um so now sorry about that, guys. Um so now like they have to like just pretend that they found the body and they're freaking out and things like that. And of course, the forest ranger is trying to get more information out of them and things like that. And what ends up happening is like the forest ranger gives them his card, and when he gives the card to Cass, her finger is cut, and so she has like a paper cut and things like that, which keep that in mind. So um so yeah, because they call, like, not call, but because the forest ranger seen the body, the body was taken to the hospital in Crimson Beach, basically where Parker's mother work at and stuff like that. And during chapter 5, Parker also learns to basically learns defense and things like that. And she also ends up getting a power. I forgot to mention, if I did forgot to mention, in Immortal Desires 2, instead of there being talismans that Parker gets, what she gets is abilities now that she is a vampire and things like that. And the ability that she gets in chapter 5 is sense intentions, where like if someone touches her or she touches the person, she could sense like what they're going to do and things like that. And so she gets that ability. Um and not only that, she also gets some moments with, I want to say, Gabriel. Yeah, she gets some moments with Gabe. And yeah, she gets some moment with Gabe. I think that ends with like her and Gabe being intimate, and then Cass steps in, and then of course Cass tells Parker that her mom is going to, she's going to look at the body and things like that, basically warning Parker, because again, in book 1, like the whole point of Parker doing doing things and hiding things from her mom is because she was trying to protect her mom. So of course she got to be in protective mode once more. And then of course chapter 6 comes around. And of course, Parker basically, again, like I said, she's got to protect her mom, so she got to make sure her mom doesn't know too much or basically knows anything about vampires or suspects anything, because again, she does not need Lewin and Astoria threaten their lives again, because that's what Astoria and Lewin do best. Anyway, she, Cass, and Gabe in chapter 6 decides to go and snoop around the hospital to see what her mother knows, and just to see the body and things like that, and to get more new information on what happened to this guy. I want to also say that this is also when there's like a meeting in the Nexus, and Astoria and Lewin is telling everybody what happened, how there was a vampire who got caught outside of the ley lines. And this is also the episode where, is this the episode? No, I don't think this is. But anywho, back to what I was saying. This isn't the episode. This episode, basically after they go and you see what's going on, and of course Parker and her mom, they still having that mother-daughter situation going on and things like that. And then of course Parker, because she's having lessons, defense lessons, and this time she's having separate defense lessons. She's learning how to do things the Clement way, and then also how to do things the Benedict way and things like that. And this time she's learning how to do things the Benedict way. In chapter 5 she learns how to do things the Clement the Clement way and stuff. And so of course I want to say Gabe also catches Cass and Parker having an intimate moment. I just want to let you know that, heads up, there are moments where you having an intimate moment with either Gabe or Cass, and the other one would catch y'all in the act and things like that. And so, as you know, that's building up. And so it leads us to chapter 7. Chapter 7, oh yeah, at the end of chapter 6, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say, they meet, I forgot to mention, they meet the Ranger again. And of course the Ranger has a friend with him, and the friend tells Cass about he sees Cass cut. Remember in chapter 5 she has a paper cut, and so he sees that she still has that. Well, I don't think they realize she still has the same paper cut, but it's it's good to take note that she has the same paper cut that she had in chapter 5. And I know if you watch Locum 23 play this, he says what I was thinking, which was her paper cut hasn't healed because they probably use some type of material to figure out who's a vampire or not and things like that. but yeah, they know. But yeah, they meet the Rangers again and things like that. And of course, the Ranger goes off, and of course, Parker and Gabe are teasing Cass and about her paper cut, and of course, Cass is angry, so she leaves. And then, so chapter 7, of course, Cass is being distant from. Cass is being distant from Parker, and of course, Parker is where that worries her and things. And of course, things are not going good at home because Parker and her mom are always getting into it. And it's not like Parker could tell her mom that she's a vampire now. So yeah. And of course, this episode with this chapter, Gabe is trying to make things better. Parker also runs into her ex friends, whatever you want to call them, Libby, and I forgot the other two name, but she runs into them, and of course, I forgot to mention, but Libby is also having some problems because she's still having like nightmares, and apparently it's not really a nightmare, but like she thinks it's a nightmare. But Libby keeps thinking on the night where Parker is like, saving her from the creatures in book 1 and things like that. And like basically she's remembering that night. And of course, that's something to take note of. But like, even though Parker's worried, I feel like she's not too worried because she doesn't really tell anybody and things like that. She just keep it to herself. And of course, this is also the episode, chapter 7 is also the episode where Parker's like, she doesn't know what she wants to do with Cass and Gabe because she loves both of them. She doesn't want to lose any of them, and she doesn't want to hurt no one, but she doesn't know what to do because she knows she's going to have to choose sooner or later, because at the end she's going to have to choose what clan to be a part of, whether she wants to be a Venedai or a whether she wants to be a Venedai or a Clement. So, and that also means that she gotta choose whether she wants to be with Gabe or Cass, and so she doesn't know what to do. However, and so of course Gabe sees that she's a little stressed and everything because she just she doesn't, again, like I said, she doesn't know what to do. She's feeling conflicted. Um, and of course they do something fun, and then at the end of chapter 7 they get more intimate with each other, like they take it to the next step. um and then chapter 8 comes by. Chapter 8 again, like she's worried and stuff like that. But like, I want to say, I know in chapter 7, Cass did tell her, like, give her some space. And so that's what Parker is doing. And when Cass does show up in chapter 8, um, she takes her to the place that she was born, I want to say. Not born, but grew up and things like that. And she and Parker have a heart to heart. Parker ends up getting another power. What's the power? I want to say it's called coming something. Um, I want to say it's called it's a common ability and things like that. And she uses ability to calm down Cass and also herself, because when Cass was getting, like, when Cass was being anxious, that made her anxious and stuff like that. And so that's when the ability comes into play and things like that. And of course, like I said, they have a heart to heart in this chapter, and then they end up being intimate. She ends up, like, taking it to the next, like the next level. If you know, ends up being intimate with Cass. And of course, Parker now, she's already been intimate with Gabe at first. So now she's intimate with Cass. And so now she's like, oh, like, it's getting serious. And so now, because it's getting serious, she needs to clear her head and things like that. And of course, she gets to clear her head, but she ends up being angry, so she's throwing things. And while she's in the midst of throwing things and basically vamping out, the park ranger sees her, and of course, it's like, holy snap. Unfortunately, I saw Locum's 23 walk through, and basically he chose to silence the dude, and what ended up happening is he ended up attacking the dude, which he didn't mean to do. But I'm thinking, like, either way, maybe Parker attacks him, I'm not sure. But either way, she stops, like, mid attack, and then she runs back to her house, and like she destroys the door and things like that. And of course, she ain't mean to do this, but her mother, like, is in the kitchen and saw this. And of course, they have a little spat, and then her mother ends up cutting herself. And of course, since Parker is already, like, vamping out, she smells the blood, and she's going to attack her mother. And next thing you know, Gabe comes in and he stops her. And of course, Parker, she's feeling horrible and things like that. And of course, her mom seeing this, she doesn't know what to think. And just when you think things can't get worse, Astoria and Lewin comes out of nowhere and is like, well, you're going to be severely punished. And that's how chapter 8 ends. And so, all I have to say, all in all, chapter 5 through 8 was very good to watch. I can't wait until I'm playing this myself, because I'm excited to play this myself. But all I have to say is, woo, chapter 8 was a doozy. Like, chapter 5, 6, and 7, it were expected to me. They're good chapters and things like that. But chapter 8, oh my God, chapter 8 was a doozy. Chapter 7 was a little bit of a doozy because, again, like, Parker basically sleeps with both Gabe and Cass. And I'm thinking to myself, Lord have mercy. Like, I'm thinking to myself, why did she sleep with him? Because it's like, yo, you making things hard. But I'm thinking, like, it was gonna be hard regardless, because again, she has to choose. And I just feel bad for Parker, and I can only imagine when I play this myself. Oh, I'm gonna feel so bad for Kai. Like, I really am, because I love my character Kai and stuff like that. Like, I feel like he's a dope character, and it's like I'm gonna feel bad for him because he loves both Gabriella and Cass. So it's like, damn, it's like to know that Kai has to choose, and also the character Parker has to choose as well. To know that they have to choose between them and they just don't know what to do, and that stresses them the hell out. And then for them to basically vamp out in front of the park ranger, because I already have a feeling, a sneaky suspicion that the park ranger is a vampire hunter and stuff like that, especially since Cass finger cut, paper cut, since her paper cut did not, like, heal. I really think he's I really think he's a vampire hunter. So yeah, yeah, I think he's a vampire hunter. So so to vampire in front of him was the worst case scenario, and to vampire in front of mom, and I'm like, I'm so nervous to know what Astoria and Lewin has to offer, because I'm just saying, I feel like it's gonna be the worst of the worst punishment. I'm nervous for her, and not to mention we on chapter 8. We're not even halfway done. Like, well, I feel like we are halfway through the book, but I'm just, yeah, we are kind of halfway through the book, so it's like we're only halfway through the book. Imagine what like the next half is going to be like. So I'm fully excited and prepared, but also nervous. I ain't gonna lie, this is messing with my anxiety a little bit, because I'm like, oh Lord. But like, damn, I didn't expect chapter 8 to go so hard like that. I really didn't. Like, I was just thinking she was just going to, like, I'm thinking she's just going to take a break from everybody and things like that. And maybe she was going to go out of town and some shit. Like, I'm thinking she just going to do something like, spontaneous but also reckless, but not this reckless. I was like, oh my goodness. But I can't wait for next week. I'm super excited to know what's going to happen, and I also want to know what you guys think about chapters 5 through 8. If you watch Locum 23 play or anybody else play, or if you have VIP, if you're a VIP member and you play this yourself, what do you think about it? Like, tell me like what's your thoughts, and also tell me like who are you choosing? Are you choosing Gabe, Gabriella, Cass, or Cassie, or are you can't choose? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And about everything about chapter 5, 6, 7, and 8. And until next time, I hope y'all have a blessed day. See ya!